Now it's time to introduce our special guest.
Welcome to this section called Guests, and today we've got a special guest joining us on Millennial Memories, a friend of the show, Critter Crystal. We found her rummaging around in the bins earlier today looking for some Tazos or POGs.
Tazos, not POGs.
Never Australia. Australia. Tazos.
Rummaging.
Look, we wanted to get Critter on the show again because we wanted to,
It was so popular last
No. Because what we want to do is we want to talk about a few things, and we thought we'd get somebody to, bounce back some ideas because it can get lonely with just you and I, can't it?
It can get lonely, yes, it can.
And we go into a bit of a loop, so we needed someone to break it up and be able to give us some feedback.
They needed a bit of cheese in between the bread.
Oh, I get it, right.
Yeah.
You're not Ling Mei, are you?
Could be Ling Mei.
Could be Ling Mei. First thing we wanted to talk about, Critter, and
Yeah.
I don't know what your knowledge is of this, but POGs and Tazos. POGs? Did you ever have POGs or did you have Tazos?
I had
You've been
Tazos.
rummaging through the bins for
I've been looking
Tazos.
for them.
I was a Tazos gal. You would
Gal.
find them in packets of chips.
You
I
would.
remember. And the holographic ones were the epic ones that you would find.
Yes,
We
holographic.
even traded them, I believe, in primary school. I'm pretty sure we traded them. I even had like a book that you could fit them all in. I was determined to get all of them.
Is that why you were rummaging to get the last couple of...
Yeah, I never got them all.
The desperation to get the whole set of those
Yeah.
Tazos.
Pogs, I didn't really... I actually thought growing up that they were the same thing, but they're different.
See,
right?
they are kind of the same thing. Now, from my understanding, POGs are like a North American thing, whereas Tazos are a, Southern Hemisphere, Australia, New Zealand type of thing.
Tazos for the win.
I think so. POGs exploded in popularity in the early 90s based on a traditional Hawaiian game played with milk bottle caps. The game involved stacking cardboard discs, which were the POGs, using a heavy slammer to flip them.
No, we didn't do that.
Whatever
we
you
just collected them.
See, I tried to explain this to my son about this was the game. You get a stack and then you'd throw a slammer down and you'd flip
my
them,
God!
and then you'd win. Whatever you got to keep, what you knocked over.
That did happen.
That did happen. The craze took off with kids worldwide, and it's because of the colourful designs, collectability, and simple gameplay. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like what's the game you play?
Marbles?
Well, Marbles is one, yeah. There's heaps of games like that where you throw shit
Yahtzee.
around. Yeah, heaps of them. And like you get to keep the ones that you knocked over or they flipped, right? So it wasn't long after POGs, which I actually was told that it was pineapple, orange, and guava, and it was an acronym for the juice lids in Hawaii, not milk bottle caps.
If it come from Hawaii,
I don't know how accurate Slick Mick is here.
Yeah, well, we'll
Mick,
have to...
if
we'll
you
put it to
fucked
the
up,
test,
you might get fired at this
Yeah.
point. I'm getting a bit sick of this,
Yep.
to be honest. But I thought pineapple, orange, and guava made
Who
more
replaces
sense.
him though?
Chad. Rad Chad.
Rad Chad.
I like that.
Keep your eyes peeled. In Australia, though, POGs were Tazos. Now, I think it was more about a licensing thing. Makes sense
Makes
to
sense,
me.
yeah.
And they emerged as the alternative, I guess, to POGs. And they were found in chip packets.
Yes, I was right.
Yeah. Smiths or Doritos.
Yes, I remember.
Tazos, you were rummaging for Doritos or you were rummaging for Tazos? Bit of both, right? Tazos featured pop culture themes like Looney Tunes, Pokemon, and Star
Simpsons.
Wars. Space Jam, that was a big one. I know it's Looney Tunes, but
yes, I
Space
remember
Jam
that.
ones. Because they were hologram ones, and they were,
That's
as
what
you
you
said,
said.
but they also had the lenticular.
That's a big word.
Then it is lenticular, where they would motion. You'd have the motion when you
That's
turned
what I
them.
meant. That's not hologram.
Well, that's called lenticular. Not hologram. Yeah, they were a collectible craze.
What's
Tazos
hologram?
remain iconic in Australia. What's that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I said, so what's hologram?
Well, hologram is...
Oh, it's when it comes up.
It's usually green, or like a green colour, and it's like a 3D image.
Yeah, no.
Has
There
depth.
was no hologram Tazos.
I think there were, actually.
I think there was,
No, there
yeah.
was. Yeah, the Star Wars ones
Yeah.
had some hologram. Tazos.
that's not what I
Listen,
meant.
people outside of Australia have no fucking idea what we're talking about. They have no idea. Tazos were great. But you know
They're
what was
rad.
even better? This is something that I know you know about, Crystal. Shrinkies.
Yes.
And putting plastic in the oven, essentially.
Yes.
Right?
So I
Tell
actually
me about
didn't know that there was a thing called Shrinkies. I think my mum invented Shrinkies because my mum we'd finish our chip packets, we'd give them to her, she'd put them in the oven and they'd shrink and we would collect them. She'd either put like a ring on them to make them into a key ring. I preferred to wear my chip packets, and I would make necklaces out of them.
It's like what you've conquered. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
This is how many chips I've eaten in the J. But you said that there's actually something called Shrinkies.
They were there was a thing
There
called
wasn't.
Shrinkies.
My mum just used to put the old chip it.
No, there was
packet.
Shrinkies.
My
That
mum
was a
used
thing.
the chip packet. Try it at kids' home. Try it.
With parental
Finish the
supervision.
chip
Yes,
packet.
definitely,
Maybe
definitely.
not shapes, but it
No,
had to be
definitely not
aluminium. And put it in aluminium.
No. It's
Like
plastic.
foil.
Yeah.
Foil packets? No, they were plastic. They couldn't
Yeah.
be foil. You burn if they were
no.
foil. They had to be plastic.
Well, it
Because
wasn't shaped.
Shrinkies themselves, the product Shrinkies, right?
It wasn't Shrinkies.
It was.
No. I'm saying the product Shrinkies was like
My
you
mum,
get a.
I would see it and go.
Yeah, I know. But they were made from the same material. Shrinkies were like a rectangular thing, and you'd cut out the shape of the one you wanted, and you put it in the oven, and it would be like a
No.
I don't know, like a profile of a cartoon
Yes.
character, and it would shrink down. People watching on
So,
YouTube will
yes.
see what a Shrinkies
Yes.
is, and that's it. But
My mum did it with full packets.
I do remember the big packets of Smith's chips. The gobbledoc would be devastated.
Oh, he would.
Put them
yeah.
in the oven,
Yeah.
and
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, I know.
We're talking about Shrinkies.
I never had Shrinkies.
No,
I
we're
just had
kind of
that.
talking about the same,
Same
thing,
thing,
really,
yeah,
aren't we?
yeah.
Like, to be
Yeah.
honest, to be fair.
My mum made her own Shrinkies.
We get that.
I remember seeing them on kids' bags,
Yeah.
like as key rings,
Yep.
like you said,
Well, I wore them as a necklace.
or as necklaces, yeah. Okay, as you did. Well, that's... Hey, it was the 90s, right?
It was the 90s.
Fucking bizarre. Bizarre at the best of times. There were a lot of different weird shit things in the 90s. Good and shit. And I've got a bit of a list here, and I'm going to try and get you guys to comment. Some of them you might be familiar with, some of them you might not be. The first one on my list, it's Pokemon cards. We are probably, as elder millennials, probably past Pokemon. We probably missed that.
Yeah, the whole craze was sort of... We were at the...
Did you
Back
do
end.
Pokemon Go?
No, I never did. No, I never got into
Crystal?
Pokemon Go.
Nah.
No?
Never.
Nah.
You didn't catch
Wasn't
them all?
my thing. I did
No.
not catch
and
them all.
then it
Didn't
came
catch
out
any.
on the phone.
Yeah, it's
Is that-
Pokemon Go.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
No, wasn't
No.
a thing?
No.
I remember like
that's a shame.
I didn't do it, but I remember someone else doing it, thinking, "Why are you doing
My
this?"
younger brothers were definitely of that era of the Pokemon cards for sure. A couple of years, I think that was the difference. Just it was about
My
3 or
daughter
4
loves
years.
them. She's mad about Pokemon. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Beanie Babies.
Nah, never got into them. Never got
Pokemon
into them.
You have a Pokemon joke?
Yeah.
Tell me your Pokemon joke. Tell everyone your Pokemon joke.
How do you get Pikachu on a bus?
How?
Pokemon.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Thanks.
Wow. That's
Anyway, Beanie Babies.
Moving on rapidly.
Beanie Babies.
Yeah, Beanie Babies. No, did you have any stuffed toys?
I didn't have Beanie Babies.
No, but what stuffies did you have?
What stuffies did I have?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm asking you.
No, I didn't have. I was.
Wibbles
really
and I have a
stuffy.
stuffy each. We
Yeah,
know
we
our
do.
stuffies.
I had a Wendy doll.
What's Wendy?
It was just a doll, and I named her Wendy.
Oh, okay. I thought
was a
Wendy was like
Wendy
a
doll.
character.
And I had a baby born
Oh, I think all the girls in
and Barbies. I was obsessed with my Barbies.
You might get to Barbie.
I had a Barbie Folding Fun House, and the ad used to go in the Barbie Folding Fun House
My sister
I
had
built. And one Christmas, I got the Barbie Folding Fun House. It took my mum all night to put it together, and then because we had Christmas Day at the house, and then we could hear my brother and my cousin laughing, and we could hear them saying, "In the Barbie Folding Fun House, I demolished," and they had smashed the Barbie Folding Fun House.
Ah,
Tragic.
That's
What
tragic.
a tragic story. And you've never let that go. 20 years later.
No,
That's painful though.
Yeah,
That's
so
a painful memory.
That's scarring.
you can
Scarring,
cut that
yes.
if you like.
Yeah,
No,
scarring.
no, we're keeping that one, mate. We're going to go on a bit further about some other 90s garbage, and I wanted to say something about comic books. Now, our whole episode's about comic books, but Crystal, I know you're probably not into comics, but you did have something to say about publications. You mentioned it before we were beginning our recording. Fire away.
Do tell.
Regale us with a
Do
story,
tell, do
please.
tell.
So,
Publication.
Okay.
What's the publication?
so
It's not a comic book.
growing up, it was like Cleo or Girlfriend magazine.
Yeah, right, okay.
And you could like write into them, and most of the time your things would get published. I wrote into it. I'm not going to discuss what I wrote, but you could also, when you were, preteen growing up, if
tween?
A tween, yes.
But they weren't called that then.
I know.
That's a newer term. But you were a tween.
I was a tween. And you would write in or even you could call them, I think, and say, like, you had your period, and they would send you out pads and stuff. But as, like, I want to say a joke, like a revenge to, I'm not going to say her real name, but her name was Eliza Peterson. She was a bully.
That's not a real name, is it?
And we would call
Alias.
girlfriend or Cleo from the payphone and say, Eliza's got her period, send her pads. And we'd do it quite frequently. So she was getting quite a few packages of pads sent to her house, so her parents would think that she was on her period and sexually active. Burn.
Now, you wish you could do that with toilet paper. Ring up and go, Chrissy needs some toilet paper. Mr. Wilbur just run out.
pack.
You'd be like, fuck
Full
yeah.
pack.
And then you can sell that on and make a fortune. Poor Eliza, why would you do that?
She was a bitch, man.
Oh, okay.
She was a mole.
What
I still
what a
see her
bitch.
sometimes.
Oh, it's awkward when she watches this. Because our viewers, they spread the knowledge, they spread the word.
She
Very
might
dedicated.
seek you out and say,
Very-
thanks for all those pads.
Yeah,
Get me stocked up
that's
for
straight.
years.
That's straight.
Good to go.
She's still using the stockpile
I still
today.
remember the address of her house.
What about sports cards? Anybody? Sports cards?
Sports
Aw.
card. I used to collect some footy
Like
cards
NBA
back in the
NBA
day.
ones.
I never got into NBA. No, it wasn't my
I-
thing. I was more footy cards.
Footy cards.
Yeah, I didn't collect sports cards, but my son still would collect sports cards.
They're pretty popular, and I know that we mentioned it earlier in our episode about the Mickey Mantle card. They become valuable quick.
Very quick.
If the sports person becomes a star, value
Value.
Yes.
straight away.
Yeah.
But then if they're a flop, it's like, oh, I've got it signed by, I don't know, he's a fucking shit sportsman, like, I don't know, Brett Camorley.
Brett
Football
Camorley.
card.
Sonny
Sorry,
Bill
Brett
Williams.
Let's
Camorley.
hope
I
he's
don't
not
know,
watching.
Yeah.
Listen, Brett Camorley's got better things to do than watch
He
Millennial
writes in
Memories.
quite
So does
frequently,
Eliza,
actually.
right?
Nope. She's the demographic we're looking for. No, but sports cards, they do. Like a Michael Jordan card now, in just about any condition, is valuable. Doesn't
that
matter
right?
what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
doesn't matter what
Yeah.
it is. Shaq, Muggsy
Oh, yeah,
Bogues.
Shaq.
Yeah,
NBA cards were huge when we were at school.
they were. Yeah, that.
I
had a
wasn't
couple of
into
years.
it, but-
No, neither.
but
wasn't into it.
I'm sure that if the YouTube fraternity know about NBA sports cards, there were NBL cards in Australia. No one collected them.
No one knows.
It's like no one's watched it.
No.
I wasn't into
Sorry,
basketball,
NBL
but I had
fans.
a really cool basketball jumper. It was the Hornets.
I had a Utah Raptors hat.
I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But I only got it because I lost my Hornets hat.
Yeah.
Ah, boo. Starter caps, and you take the little stars
Starter,
out.
yeah.
Yes.
Starter,
Well, you wouldn't take them out, and then someone would steal them.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I think there was a thing about the starter caps where the amount you could collect 20 stars and you could get like 50% off a hat.
Is that right? Is that how
Yeah.
it works?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so people used to steal them out of you.
Oh.
yeah. Interesting.
It could just be where I grew up.
Could be. It could be.
Could be
It was
a
just a
locality thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, next thing I got here on our 90s thing is action figures. I'm sure Critter doesn't have any action figures. But what did you have?
Barbie dolls.
Barbie dolls. We talked about the Barbie house. Did
Yes.
you have the car?
I had everything.
Oh,
I had the
everything.
car, I had the boat, I had the sister.
Who owned the car and the boat? Was it Ken or Barbie?
Barbie owned everything.
What did Ken own?
It'd be ridiculous. Nothing.
I haven't seen the Barbie movie. So
If he was lucky, he owned Barbie's heart.
Oh.
If he played his cards
Take
right.
that, Ken.
If he didn't play his cards right, then it was Barbie was straight off to G.I. Joe, as we discussed earlier.
Tell us, no, our podcast listeners don't know what you're talking about.
No, that's
Do
fine.
tell.
No, far away. You've started now. Once you start, you can't. Millennial memories follow through.
Well, my Barbies
Hmm.
preferred G.I. Joe for his muscles.
But
And
G.I. Joe's
my
only
mum
little.
No, they weren't. They were big. I'm sure
I don't know
they
what's.
were. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But G.I. Joe like little like this.
Yeah,
was he
no-
the same size as a
No,
Barbie?
no, they weren't the same size as Barbie.
Well, maybe that's why I liked him because he was little.
Okay.
I don't know.
Great story, though.
Yeah, my mum would find G.I. Joe and Barbie with no clothes on behind the couch.
And who put them there?
Oh, I did.
Because
Because Ken didn't play his cards right.
Well, yeah, Ken fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a third wheel in that
Thank you,
relationship.
next, she would say.
Wow.
Thank
Ruthless
you,
Barbie.
next.
Barbie's
Thank you,
ruthless.
next.
Yeah, my Barbies were.
Alright. Well, look, I don't know about any more 90s stuff. I'm kind of a bit lost for words after that last story. I don't know what to say.
Turn the camera if it gets a lot worse.
Oh, Jesus. I think I'll keep recording just out of fear. Listen, I enjoyed that. We talked about a few funny things and a few things that were frightening.
Intriguing, and we learned some stuff. So we'd like to thanks Critter for joining us, and I guess it's back to the bin for more rummaging.
There must be a Tazo in there somewhere. Just can't drag one out. There'll be one.
Or a Shrinky.
A Shrinky. You could, find some chip packets. We'll shrink them down. We got things to do.
Thanks, Critter.
We want to do a story. Let's go to a story.
Thanks
Story
for
time.
having me.
We're going to story time.
Right, now I duck out.
Again,
Get out of here.
get back in the bin.
Get out of the bin.